Hello and welcome to Homework Walkthrough video 9.01c Independent Practice. Glad to see you. Let's jump into question 1. Find the area of the trapezoid. Oof. I don't know how to find the area of a trapezoid, but I think I and we know how to find the area of a triangle and a rectangle. We can find the area of a rectangle, right, by doing base times height. Now, if we cut this shape up, and let's pretend only the part we care about exists, maybe let's cover up this triangle for now, and cover up this triangle for now, and decompose this shape into just a rectangle. Now that it's just a rectangle, what's the area of just this rectangle? Well, the base is 5, and the height is 4, so the area of just that rectangle is 20. Now let's decompose this again in another way. So I'll write 20 right there. Now let's look at only this triangle on the left. To find the area of a triangle, we can do almost the same thing we did for rectangles. Base times height, but we divide by 2. So what is the base? What is the height of this triangle? The base is 4. The height is also 4. And then we divide by 2. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. I will write 8 here. Now let's take a look at this triangle. Remember again, the area to find a triangle is base times height divided by 2. The base is 4. You see that? But what's the height? Can't see the height. Is the height 4 still? I mean, it kind of looks like it. I think so. The height is still 4. Because this line is the same distance, the same length as this line. They're both 4. Because it's measured along 2 parallel lines. So the base is 4, the height is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we decomposed this trapezoid into a rectangle, a triangle, and a triangle. And we found the partial areas of that shape. Now that we have all of the partial areas, let's add those partial areas together. 8 plus 20 plus 8, 36. The area of this shape is 36. 36 squared units. Question 2. Find the area of the trapezoid. Okay, to find the area of this trapezoid, I think we are going to have to decompose the shape into more manageable shapes. Let's decompose this shape by kind of like scribbling out the shapes we don't care about and focusing on one at a time. We will eventually find the area of all the pieces of this trapezoid, but only start up one at a time. So what shapes do you see inside this trapezoid? Nice. A rectangular square, good. And two triangles. It looks like here the triangles are different sizes, too. So two different sized triangles and a rectangular square. Let's find the area of that square first. Let's find the area of the square first. To find the area of a square, we can use the formula base times height. And let's scribble out these triangles so they don't distract us. There, we got a square. The base is 6. It looks like the bottom side. And the height, oh, look at that, is also 6. And 6 times the 6 is 36. Let's write that. Okay, now we are done with the square. Let's try and find the area of one of the triangles that make up this shape. Scribble out the square because we're done with it for now. And triangle time. To find the area of a triangle, we can use the formula base times height divided by 2. So almost the same thing as a square, but dividing by 2 because a triangle is half of a rectangle or square. Okay, for this triangle, what is the base and what is the height? Oh, looks like here is the base, 3. And the height looks like, that was easy enough, 6. A straight up and down line from top to bottom, 6 is the height. So 3 times 6 is 18. Then we divide by 2. Our area is 9. Now, let's scribble out this triangle for now and focus on the triangle on the right side. To find the area of this triangle, we will do the same thing we did before, base times height divided by 2, but we are going to use different numbers, right? Going to use different numbers. What is the base and what is the height of this triangle? If the base is 4, usually we think of the base as the bottom, but it is a flat side, a horizontal side or a vertical side. It has to be a straight side of the shape. Then the height is, what is the height? Oh, I think it's 6 still. This line is the same size as this line because they're both attached to the same parallel lines. So this height is still 6. 4 times 6 divided by 2. 4 times 6 is 24. Divided by 2 is 12. So we know the partial areas of all these shapes. We decomposed it, found the area of the square, the triangle, and the triangle. Now let's add those partial areas back up. 9 plus 36 plus 12 is 57. Thank you, monsieur calculator. Number 3. Find the area of the trapezoid. Find the area of the trapezoid. Oof. I don't know how to find the area of a trapezoid, but I think if we decomposed this shape into more manageable shapes, I bet we could find the partial areas of those more manageable shapes, those easier shapes, and add the partial areas together to get the total area, what more manageable shapes do you see? What easier shapes do you see that are inside of this trapezoid? Nice. A square or rectangle. Good. I see that too. Not going crazy. Oh, and two triangles. So a square, rectangle, and then two triangles make a trapezoid. Good to know. So let's decompose this shape. Find the area of the rectangle, then find the area of the triangle, then find the area of the second triangle. And it does look like these triangles are different sizes. Okay, let's start with the area of that rectangle. I'm going to make it easier for my brain, scribble out both of the triangles and only focus on the one shape that I'm working on currently. Hey, we just got a rectangle! Yeah! To find the area of a rectangle, we can use the formula base times height. Base is a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. It looks like we know the distance of a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. Right here, 4. It is not the bottom, but the base doesn't have to be the bottom. It just has to be a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. So the base is 4. Now, the base also has to have the height coming out of it at a perpendicular angle. So like a plus sign coming straight out of it. It looks like this side, the side with the 4, does have the height coming straight out of it, or going straight into it. Otherwise, it can't be the base. Our base is 4. It has the height coming straight out of it. What is our height? Yep, 3.8. 3.8. What is 4 times 3.8? Less than 16. 15.2. Let me write that in here. 15.2. Now I'm going to scribble out this rectangle and just focus on the left triangle. To find the area of a triangle, we can use almost the same formula as the area of a rectangle, base times height, but we divide by 2. Kind of like finding the area of a rectangle, but dividing by 2, cutting that area in half because a triangle is half the size of the rectangle. So what is the base and what is the height? Looks like the height is 3.8. Right? Do you agree? From the bottom of the triangle to the top of the triangle, the height is 3.8. But what's the base? The base has to be a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. That has the height going out of it or coming into it at a perpendicular angle. So the base does not have to be the bottom. It could also be the top. And looky here. A horizontal side of the shape that has the height coming out of it or going into it. A perpendicular angle like a plus sign. Looks like 3 is our base. 3 times 3.8 divided by 2. 3 times 3.8 is divided by 2 is 5.7. Okay, and let me scribble out this triangle because now we're done working here. And I only want to pay attention now to this triangle. To find the area of this triangle, we can almost do the same thing as the area of a rectangle, base times height, but we divide by 2. It's kind of like we're finding the area of this rectangle right here that I drew, but cutting that area in half because a triangle is half of a rectangle. So what is the base and height of this triangle? The base can be a horizontal or vertical side of the shape. It cannot be diagonal. So not this. Vertical or horizontal side. It also does not have to be the bottom. It has to be vertical. It has to be horizontal. It has to have the height going out of it or coming into it at a perpendicular angle with a plus sign. And might be it. Doesn't have to be the bottom. Oh, here we go. There's the base. There's a horizontal side, and it does have the height coming right out of it. So our base is 5, and our height is, I think it's still 3.8. This dotted line and this dotted line are attached to the same parallel lines, meaning those two dotted lines are the same length. So the height is 3.8. Both triangles are the same tall. They have the same height. Okay, let's use Monsieur Calculator to find the answer to this problem. 5 times 3.8 is divided by 2 is 9.5. Now that we have the partial areas of all these shapes, of the 3 decomposed shapes, let's recompose like Frankenstein and add these partial areas together to get the total area. So the area of the left triangle was 5.7, the area of the rectangle in the middle was 15.2, and the area of the triangle on the right was 9.5. Let's add these together. 5.7 plus the area of the rectangle in the middle plus the area of the triangle on the right is 30.4. That is the total area of this trapezoid. Yes. Last question. Sideways trapezoid. Last question. Find the area of the trapezoid. I don't know how to find the area of a trapezoid, but I think we can decompose this shape or split this shape into other shapes and find the area of those pieces of a trapezoid. Then add the area pieces together to get the total area. I need your help with this though. What other shapes do you see inside this trapezoid? You see a rectangle. Awesome. I do too. Phew, I'm not going crazy. And you see 2 triangles. Oh, that's what I see too. My sanity restored. Okay, let's go with that. 1 rectangle and 2 triangles, and it looks like the triangles are going to be different sizes, right? Because they don't have the same measurements. One's a little smaller than the other one. So keep that in mind. Let's start by finding the area of this rectangle piece in the middle. To help my brain out, I'm going to scribble out all the pieces of this trapezoid that I'm not working on in the current moment. There. We just got a rectangle. Perfect. To find the area of a rectangle, we use the formula base times height. What is the base and what is the height of this trapezoid? Now, the base does not have to be the bottom. The base has to be a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. The base has to be a side of the shape. And it has to be either vertical or horizontal. It also has to have the height coming out of it or going into it at a perpendicular angle, like a plus sign. So for us, our base is this. Because also our trapezoid maybe is a little sideways, but 4.5 is technically the base. I know it's not the bottom, I know it's not the top, but it is the side of the shape. Also, I guess technically we did cut this up into a rectangle, so 7.5 then would also be the side of the shape, the bottom of the shape. So 7.5 could also be the base, since we're playing make-believe land where we cut up the shape. So, but I'm going to stick with my craziness and say 4.5 is the base. That way I make sure I know in my brain that dotted lines are not part of the shape. They just tell me an extra measurement. So my height would be the other number. Sideways rectangle. Tilt my head sideways, the height is 7.5. Doesn't really matter for this right now what number goes where, right? With multiplying. So let's multiply these two numbers together. 33.75 is our area. 33.75. Let's write that down. 33.75. Now that we're done with this rectangle, for now, I'm going to scribble it out. And let's find the area of this. No, not the triangle on top. The triangle on bottom. To find the area of a triangle, we do area equals almost the same thing as the area of a rectangle, but we divide by 2. It's kind of like finding the area of this rectangle I drew, but cutting it in half, because the triangle is half of a rectangle. What is the base and height of this triangle? Now, since there's only 2 numbers here, it doesn't matter really which one's the base and which one's the height. And also, since we are in the land of make-believe, this dotted line is technically a side of the triangle. So 7.5 could be the base and 4 could be the height, or if you turn your head sideways, 4 could be the base and 7.5 could be the height. The base has to be a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. It has to be a side of the shape. It can't be a dotted line. And because we're in the land of make-believe, this dotted line has become one of the sides of the triangle. So the base has to be vertical or horizontal. It has to be a side of the shape, and it has to have the height coming out of it or going into it at a perpendicular angle, at a 90-degree angle. And right here is 90 degrees. So either side could be the base, either side could be the height, depending on how you orient or tilt your head. So let's write that. 4, just pick 4 as the base, times 7.5 divided by 2. 4 times 7.5 equals divided by 2 equals 15. There we go. It's 15. Now let's scribble this out. Scribble, scribble. And find the area of our last triangle. To find the area of this triangle, we'll do the same thing we did to find the area of the last triangle. Base times height divided by 2. What is the base and what is the height of this triangle? Or maybe a better question to ask right now is how long is that red line I just drew? Yep, it's 7.5. This dotted line down here and the red line I drew are attached to the same parallel lines, which means they are the same length. 7, write that down here, 7.5. So what is the base and what is the height? For this triangle, it does look like 7.5 could be the base. Maybe that's easy to see because it's the bottom side of the shape, and 5 is the height because it goes from the bottom to the top. But 7.5, so let me review again what the requirements are to be a base. To be a base, you have to have or be a vertical or horizontal side of the shape. Looks like right now, 7.5 is a horizontal side of the shape because we're just looking at the triangle. Its dotted lines are not sides of the shape. Okay, those dotted lines are not sides of the shape, but since we're only looking at this triangle, this dotted line, we can color over it and make it a normal line. Also, a base has to have the height coming out of it at a perpendicular, at a 90 degree, at a straight up and down angle, which it does, right there, straight up and down angle. So the base, you can say, is 7.5. Doesn't really matter the order that these numbers go in. You could have 7.5 times 5 or 5 times 7.5. They mean the same thing. You'll get the same answer. Because if you tilt your head sideways, oh, now 5 is on the bottom. 5 is the base, and 7.5 is the height. Lots of ways this could be done. The area of this triangle is 18.75. Now I think we have the area of all our partial shapes, all our pieces. So let's add the pieces of the triangle, the rectangle, and the triangle together to get the area of the trapezoid. So our first triangle was 18.75. The rectangle's area is 33.75. And the bottom triangle, its area is 15. Monsieur Calculator, help us out with this, monsieur. Pourquoi? Oops, I did times. That's not what I want. 18.75 plus 33.75 plus 15 is 67.5. All right, if you need more help with this homework, please let me know. I love the help. Good luck and goodbye.